In every different region, there's going to be different business laws and structures that that really dictate the types of companies that you can start. In the United States, you have to create an entity. There can be an incorporation, an LLC, which is a limited liability company. You can start a production company. In the UK, there's a sole trader, a partnership, a limited company. That is something that you guys have to do the research on, either on your own, with a business manager, with a partner. And there are different reasons, both on a business level and where you are in the region that you live in terms of the business structure that's best suited to you, and the tax implications and the costs involved. So the first thing you do when you're starting to contemplate being a publisher is do a little research into the type of entity that is going to be most practical and productive and comfortable for you, most affordable on a financial level. On that same note, you have to choose some sort of a team. And again, based on your needs, your goals, and your finances. Maybe you need an attorney to help you get started. Maybe you need or want a manager, a business manager, or an accountant. Really, you kind of need one person in all of that as a starting point. And there is also a lot of information available online and through lots of different music-centric websites. I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the webinar, about where to kind of go for that information. But again, start to sort of ask yourself these questions, evaluate the pros and cons, and then look locally around you as to the resources that you have that can help you not only just sort of maybe, reinforce these decisions that you're kind of picking the right team around you, but that it's going to work with your financial circumstances. That's on the business side. On the creative side, there might be some team members that are going to make sense for you to have on within your company. If you are a half of a writing duo and you want to start a publishing company with your creative partner or producing partner, you can do that as well. Do you need an assistant? Do you need an intern? Do you need someone to help you because the actual administration and the functionality is not your strong suit? That's okay. You can find those people locally, and you should look towards that. I know for me, I have a lot of interns that come in and that help me out on a number of different capacities that I find through colleges and even through my company as well. So decide what and who you need, and start putting, you can even do a little kind of spreadsheet for yourself of what your company would look like. And if it's just you and lots of research materials, that's okay too. You can make that work. In terms of the music and how you want to set up your company, if you think your music is going to be globally released and you want international partners, that is something at a certain point you can do as well, whether you align with an administrator internationally, whether you do individual deals in different territories and regions, or one sub-publisher that might handle all the regions where your music might be commercially successful. So just lots of considerations to think about when you're starting up the basis of your company. So on the real functionality side of things, and I mentioned before the different types of income, for the purposes of really starting your company yourself, the most important sort of aspect of this as a songwriter is choosing a PRO, which is a performing rights organization. They are also in some regions called collective management organizations. So they're either referred to as a PRO or a CMO, and that you can look individually at your or even ask friends, ask in the community, who is the PRO in your region. In the United States, we're kind of the only country that has choice there. We have a number of different PROs. We have ASCAP, we have BMI, and those are global. They have global relationships, and there are also two other companies called GMR and CSAC. which are more by invitation only. ASCAP and BMI in the United States, you can go online, you can do, they have wonderful websites, and you can find out all about how they work and what they do and how best they would interact with you. And you can join an affiliate online. In the UK, there's PRS for music. So one, when you're setting up a publishing company name for your business, that's the name that would run through. And there's basically, when you start to submit songs for collection to your PRO, they're like basically digital fingerprints based on the metadata that you send into to the PROs, and that is how they track and collect your income for performance income. It's a very important income source. It's a very important part of setting up your own publishing company, because they can perform a lot of other different functions as well, depending on the specific organization, whether they help you with royalties, licensing, other income collections. I think PRS collects both on the performance and the mechanical income as well, or they can. So again, each region has sort of a different composition. But when you are setting up your own publishing company, as a starting point, when you go in, you think of a name, and think about a name that works for you, a name that represents who you are. What is your unique skill set? What is your unique talent as a songwriter, as an artist? And when you're coming up with a name, you want to be able to start building your brand as a publisher in a way that comfortably and accurately represents yourself. Once you've come up with a name, you do have to get that name cleared, and generally the PROs can help with that. So make it as unique as possible. Sometimes they give you have to come up with a couple of different options, names as well, if the name isn't available, like John Smith, for example, probably is not something you can easily clear. But make it unique and have fun with that. Start thinking about yourself as a brand, not just as a songwriter trying to navigate this complicated business. Think of yourself as a brand. You're an entity, and you're creating a company that's going to reflect that.